Supreme. See, this right here would be more like for the frequencies and the gods and the goddess are old. If I would ever turn around and have a conversation with them real quick. The way the stories are being told, it's always like some form of a indirect understanding to the value of the usage of divine energy. And not for nothing, even if it was like categories, like the goddess of love, this, that, that. You know what I'm saying? Like if it was that in some value, their purpose would only be to shine that all over the whole plane of existence in the way of the divine. So doing anything other than that would be against the existence of that being, right? Because that's what they rose into. But that's not a ceiling, right? That's not I mean, that's a ceiling. That's not the top. You know what I'm saying? That's just like a ceiling. That's something that goes to a certain extent. And then that's just because they decided to mascot that particular energy. This is why you don't hold on to individuals. I love them because they took their own right to rise in whatever frequency they decided to rise in. But that was also a communication within Kemet when everybody had the right to rise in their spiritual understanding individually. No matter who you were able to rise in that to divinity. So whatever that frequency was that kept you in that vibration, you used that to get you where you were trying to go as a roadmap or a beginning process, right? Which any discipline becomes super in its own right, especially when you have no other distractions around and you can focus on it. So, and by the way, I'm smoking herbs right now, not what y'all think. It's easier when I'm in the sun meditating. You know what I'm saying? If you was blowing bud in the sun, that joint how you slump. You know what I'm saying? But particular to each individual person, that is the perception of the value in their retrospective time, being able to harness a level of height that was documented via via the aspect of someone being able to experience that in its form of totality. So that would be the things that they had to deal with within their particular time and aspect. But yeah, romanticizing the value on the way we perceive things today, it'll be easily made in a retrospect of some form of dynamicism, or you know what I'm saying, like romanticized to the point to where like, oh my God, it's like this. But if we was to take those understandings and then multiply that by what you know today, that means you can rise to different formats because it's just not one particular value that you are harnessing right now because of how many things are in front of you. So you was able to quantumly split values that you ended up being good at. But why would that energy be served to a person? That's like something blocking you from letting that energy flow through to the universe. And what that looks like is you being disciplined to a value, and that service serves what you create. You know what I'm saying? That's what they're trying to hold everybody else back from, not being able to be their own individual country. You know what I'm saying? Within the place. Like being able to be that powerful by yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it can get there. It can get there not for nothing, but I had did an upload I was gonna drop one day, and I had said some things in it about the government and about how they should do the money, but then I deleted it because I was like, I don't never really go on that side of communication, and I don't think I really want to, even though I got like some of the most dopest points of view. You know what I'm saying, to the value. Like, it is what it's gonna be, but yeah. But speaking towards the spiritual energy, that's all they have to do. So if you're rising in that aspect, you could take that from them because that was like a blueprint of understanding. Like, oh, word, yeah, because that's your discipline right now, and then that'll change to something else, whatever that is for each individual person. That's your discipline, and you was already set at a particular war for yourself, your spirit against your flesh. But you wouldn't have known these things because as a baby, your first addictions, sugar, attention, and shit like that, those become pacifiers. So they become a norm instead of something to stay away from. In other cultures, they do focus on those things and get the babies looking at the right things. So where their focus is, it starts to grow that in a value. So as they're older, they become naturally attached to certain values, and I see that as a good quality to put it in the right direction though. You know what I'm saying? Like using that on divine energy, that pretense will be phenomenal. It'll be something to see, you know what I'm saying? Because what will come off of it? You know what I mean? So I'm gonna watch this back. I ain't even been that long. How long it's been? About, can't be 7 minutes. Naga.